Namandots, 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 namandots. Bujo mida nyorai neudo sange Bujo shaka nyorai neudo sange Bujo jipo nyorai neudo sange We are gathered here on this day to observe the Tacoma Buddhist Temple's monthly memorial service, monthly Shotsuki service, where we remember those members who have passed away in the month of March. On this day, we remember Yomimatsu Nomura, Megumu Fukui, Shosaburo Sotowa, Fusakichi Sagami, Haruki Yotsuye, Hideo Sasaki, Kinroku Tanabe, Chie Nakao, Toyoshige Oka, Seki Shingio, Hisakichi Tamaki, Waki Kosai, Haruyo Horike, Hatsuno Sugioka, Masao Tanabe, Takeji Minegishi, Fushi Minegishi, Masaru Nakamoto, Kumazo Yamasaki, Asao Fukuyama, Akie Konishi, Harue Shinotani, Kumakichi Kawaguchi, Nancy Uchimura, Fumiko Azuma, Fumiko Hansen, Molly Takako Asahara, George Masaru Nakashima, Shigeru Murakami, Yaeko Sasaki, Stuart William Bush, Noboru Yamasaki, Katsuji Abe, Mitsuko Oku Jensen, Minoru Nakagawara, Yukiko Shiogi, Kimiko Tanbara, Alan Kishi, Katsumi Fujita. May the fragrance of the incense teach us the purity of our intentions. May the beauty of the flowers offered teach us of life's great impermanence. And may the light that burns brightly teach us of Amida's wisdom and compassion. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandats, Namandats, Namandats. Busen Amida Kyo Nyoze Gamon Ichiji Bunzai Shae Koku Ijuki Kotoku On Yodai Bikushu 1250人区大勢大あらか首相知識長老者理ほんまかもけんねまかかしょまかかせんねまかくちらりはたしゅりはんだがなんだあなんだらごらきょぼんはだいびんずるはらだかるだいまかこひなはくらあぬるだにょぜと初代でしびょしょぼさんまかさ文殊しりほうじあいたぼさんけんだか大ぼさ上昇人ぼさんよにょぜと初代ぼさん牛釈大官人と無料商店大祝二次文豪行老者理法十世裁法家十万の文道右世界妙案極楽合道右文豪阿弥陀根源在説法者理法非道学校妙意極楽合国修上無宿単樹省楽光明極楽右者理法極楽国土七十乱十七十乱も七十五十大勢司法出走異名成功非国明案極楽右者理法極楽国土右四方地白毒水十万五中地大十人根社富士四辺街道根言瑠璃ハリ五条上右老各役位根言瑠璃ハリ社交釈子面の二言直地地中連下大名者常識証拠法式陽光釈式釈光白式白光微妙高潔者理本国楽国土上寿尿税空毒将軍入者理法異部国土上差天学王根維持注意や六時二万だらけ五国修上上位小丹各位へ国上宗明家空用他法十万億分即位直地剣道本国本直協業者理本国楽国土上寿尿税空毒将軍武士者理本非国上右主従奇妙座敷市長白国弱王武者理下領便が愚名市長税商首長 十夜六時水和下音高音炎症五根合力七宝大部八正道分尿税東方合同修正門税四に開始年仏年法年相シリ法尿物に市長新税財法少々消費者が非部国土無三幕主シャリ本語部国土小無三幕土宗名野教右新税小州長改税阿弥陀部翼量本能千流変化小差シャリオ非部国土未付水道小法五十牛法乱毛水未妙音異尿百戦十学同時草門税四社会示年上年仏年法年相死死シャリ本語部国土上寿尿税不読称言ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナジポウミジン世界の念仏の主情をみそなわし摂取して捨てざれば阿弥陀と名付け立てまつるご者人寿の如来は万行の生前嫌いつつ妙語不思議の真善の愛しく人へに進めしむシャリホンお如意運が非仏が古語阿弥陀シャリホン非仏公明無料正直報告無償証下税古語意阿弥陀ウシャリホン非仏寿命牛語人味無料無変阿蘇義公公明阿弥陀シャリホン阿弥陀仏上仏以来お根自己ウシャリホン非仏無料無変お門でしかいあらかん非税三十師匠の地消防差主薬部尿税シャリホン非部国土小寿長寿尿税空読称言ウシャリホ国ら国土修上少者改税やビバチゴ中タウ 一生不生ご主人他非税30書の知識単価無料無変遊ぎ骨折者利本症状門者応答本願願書被告所有者が特用尿税症状善人空営一緒シリホンフハ一生前後特特異念特商非国シャリホ薬善難死善女人門節なみだぶ十字名語脈一日脈二日脈三日脈四日脈五日脈六日脈七日一子ブラ五人輪明十字阿弥陀仏表彰小寿現在午前前人十字神父天道即徳往生阿弥陀仏徳羅国土シャリ本願健税利公正死言脈修上門絶拙者応答本願消費国土シャリ法尿が根者三段阿弥陀仏不可思議空毒逃亡薬阿宿微仏趣味総仏大趣味仏趣味公仏妙仏妙税と合賀者主将仏各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生界戦場実語妙と修上等身税少佐不可思議空毒一切小仏小五年魚シャリホン南方世界不日がと仏妙門公仏大変見仏趣味と仏無料精進仏尿税と合賀者主将部各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生会戦場実語尿と修上等身絶少佐不可思議空毒一切小仏小五年魚シャリホン裁縫世界無料十部無料総仏無料道仏大公仏大名仏放送仏上皇仏尿税と合賀者主将仏各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生界戦場実語尿と修上等身絶少三不可思議空毒一切小部小五年魚シャリホン法法世界無縁見仏最小音仏難小仏二小仏魔名仏尿税と合賀者主将仏各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生界戦場実語尿と修上等身税小三不可思議空毒一切小部小五年魚シャリホン下法世界牛死仏妙門仏妙高仏百万仏報道仏地方仏尿税と合賀者主将仏各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生界戦場実語尿と修上等身税小三不可思議空毒一切小部小五年魚シャリ法小法世界ウボンの部宿王仏工場仏高校仏大円見仏座敷法見合司部シャラ十王仏法慶徳部見日祭儀仏尿趣味戦仏尿税と合賀者主将仏各王合国水工場絶素返布三千大先生界戦場実語尿と修上等身絶少佐不可思議空毒一切小仏小五年行ナモアミダンブナモアミダンブナモアミダンブナモアミダンブナジポ 者の勝負た国難心ののりを解き五辱悪性のためにとて所有上五年せしめたり勝負の五年所有上は悲願成就のゆえなれば今後心の縁人は皆の大恩おうずべしシャリホンおにょいうんががこみょい一切小仏小五年行シャリホ百善難自然四人門税小仏小説名九教名者税小善難自然四人大一切小仏十小五年大徳不大天法はのくたら三脈三宝大税公者利法女頭海頭真珠学校義小部小説者利法百人異本願東本願東本願翌小阿弥陀部国者税小人と大徳不大天法はのくたら三脈三宝大王妃国土脈一所脈根性脈東小税公者利法小善難自然四人脈信者応答本願消費国土者利法nhàが根者小三小部不可思議空読必勝部と訳小説が不可思議空読日差前後釈無二仏の偉人な慶宇指示のおしゃば国土皇辱悪性皇辱権辱煩悩辱修上辱明辱中徳はのくたら三脈三宝大一生修上節税一切設計南市司法者利本当地顔皇辱悪性行使南寺徳はのくたら三脈三宝大一切設計摂氏南市司法聖人南部摂氏教医者利法一生ビク一切設計天になしゅらと門仏小説歓喜真珠さらいにこ仏説阿弥陀経ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏ナモ阿弥陀仏な五辱悪事悪世界 上空悪邪見の主上には弥陀の妙語与えてぞごうじゃの勝負進めたるナモアミダブオとのればジポ無料の勝負歌百自由千自由いねうして喜び守りたもなりがんにしくどく平等聖一切道発菩提心法有上安楽公Namandaps, namandaps, 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 namandaps. Please join me in Gasho. Namandaps. We respectfully call upon Tathagata Amida to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon Tathagata Shakyamuni to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. We respectfully call upon the Tathagatas of the 10 directions to enter this dojo as we joyfully scatter flowers of welcome. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandaps, Namandaps, Namandaps. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Shotsuki service for the month of March. For those of you who do not remember, Shotsuki is a special service that we usually commemorate here to the Tacoma Buddhist Temple during the first weekend, usually the first Saturday of whatever respective month it is, where we remember and commemorate the past members who passed away or who were born into the Pure Land in that month. So this month, we are remembering and commemorating the members who passed away in the month of March. For many of you who are watching this, you probably remember the names, and not just the names, but the people on the list. Today's Gosandai is a direct translation of Shandao's sanbujo. And for those of you who want a little more clarification, sanbujo is one of the first chants that I chanted up here on the Onaijin. And I think many people here in the BCA, as well as Tacoma Buddhist Temple, probably have some experience with this chant. For many of you, you probably remember taking something like this, like a keha, and when the part comes where everyone chants the Sange la, that part. You remember, you drop the flower petal as you joyfully scatter flowers in welcome of Amida Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, and the Buddhas of the 10 directions. So this is a very interesting Gosandai, but in a way, since we are celebrating, or we are in the month of March now, and March usually talks about the beginning of spring, and in some ways, we can already see this outside. We can already see that the days are lasting a lot longer. The sun is coming out a little bit more. We are experiencing some rain here in the Pacific Northwest, but because of that, we are also seeing beautiful flowers like irises or other wet flowers that come out during the rainy season because the weather is starting to warm up a little bit more. So this is usually a time of rejoicing, a time of being happy, being able to come outside of the house more, being able to transition from being shut-ins in the winter and to being able to go out on walks and enjoying nature and enjoying each other's company in the outdoors. Of course, sometimes we do have to pay attention to the weather because sometimes it does get very cold and sometimes it rains. But to me, this is also very Buddhist as well, because I would really like us to examine the sanbujo, what we're doing when we're calling upon Amida Buddha to enter the dojo, when we're calling upon Shakyamuni Buddha, and when we're calling upon the Buddhas of the 10 directions. Now, of course, we're not literally doing this, or we're not saying, hey, we expect this gigantic golden Buddha to come through the doors, nor do we expect to see the physical manifestation of Shakyamuni Buddha come through the doors, nor are we seeing the Buddhas of the 10 directions, right? Now, all of this great assembly is not going to be coming through the doors of our temple, literally speaking. In some ways, we have a literal manifestation of Amida Buddha, which is on the shrine here, on the altar. But what are we really doing? What I think for me especially as a Jodo Shinchu priest, we are calling these Buddhas back to our minds. We are calling these Buddhas back to this space of the dojo because we are bringing ourselves to this present moment of the temple and listening and being ready to receive the Dharma. The Dharma still continues to work for us during this time, and the Dharma still continues to guide us in our daily lives. So, and of course, this also goes with the names that we recite as well. I have been starting the Shotsuki service for the Tacoma Buddhist Temple now since not since I started, but it was something I started, I think, towards the end of 2020 when I began reading the names of the past members. For some of these members' names I've been reading, I know some of their descendants. I know some of the names that I've read out, I probably have some type of connection with their descendants who are current members of the temple today. And it's a wonderful pleasure being able to know them. And so because of that, it really calls back to my reminder that we are calling, when we call these past members' names, we're also, in a sense, inviting them into the dojo, into the hondo, for listening and receiving the Dharma, or in their case, teaching us the Dharma. In our tradition, when a person passes away, they are immediately born in Amida Buddha's Pure Land. And what that means is that they become one with the Dharma. They become one with the realm of enlightenment. But in Shinran's texts, we also see that they don't just stay there. They don't just stay there kind of like an endless vacation or Sandals, Jamaica. they immediately become enlightened beings, and they come back to this world to teach us the ways of the Dharma, to teach us and to help us continue guiding our path towards eventual enlightenment. So this is what they're also doing. So to me, this is why the sense of first reciting sanbujo, where we are calling upon the infinite wisdom and compassion that is Amida Buddha, and then of course acknowledging the historical teacher, Shakyamuni Buddha, who taught us this wonderful teaching, and then also acknowledging that we are a Mahayana tradition as well. We acknowledge the Buddhas of the countless directions and 10 directions, the countless Buddhas in 10 directions. We are inviting them all to this space so we can listen to the Dharma. And then next, we read the names of our past members who we have all probably encountered at some point in our lives, and if we have not, still have created an impact for us to live by, to learn, to listen and receive the Dharma. So as the days in the Pacific Northwest start to get a little bit longer, as the sun starts to come out more, and most importantly, as we start to hear that COVID cases are starting to go down quite a bit, we start having a wonderful sense of joy. But then sadly, we also don't always seem to get a break, do we? We've heard, and all of us are very, very scared, and we're not sure what's going to happen because of the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and we're not sure what's going to happen, and we're already seeing that, at least for us in the United States, the economic impact it's had on us. But then we are, of course, also very saddened and very moved when we see the terrible suffering that the Ukrainians are currently going through as well. And then it's a very tumultuous time right now. So what do we as Buddhists do? What can we do? Well, of course we can speak out. Of course we can advocate for peace. But we also can level ourselves as well by turning back to our ancestors. Remember, many of these people who I read, many of the members' names who I have read on this list also went through tumultuous and terrible times. They were also uprooted from their homes and taken to internment camps and were forced out of their ways of living, forced by the government. And it was very, very sad. It was a very, very sad point in our history. But they also turned to the Dharma for refuge, as we must also turn to the Dharma for refuge. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that I think that we should just hide in a hole or hide in a cave or become ignorant or just, in a sense, go up into an ivory tower. But I'm also saying that we can calm ourselves and center ourselves by once again taking refuge in the Nembutsu teaching and in the Dharma. And of course, use that to guide us in how to live, how to treat others, and to help others when help is needed. So with that in mind, I ask all of you to think on Amida Buddha, to think on Shakyamuni Buddha, to call upon the Buddhas of the 10 directions into your homes, to reflect on the names of those who were long past. For as we know, from the beginningless time of Bodhisattva Dharmakara, eventually becoming Amida Buddha, to the time of us now, to this day, living this time of uncertainty, of ups and downs, and happy news and sad news. We all know that this is what is known as dukkha, or suffering, and we live in this world of samsara, of endless cycles of birth and death. And yet we can still take refuge in Amida Buddha's wisdom, compassion. This, in a sense, is the only sense of comfort we can turn to sometimes, that to know that the Dharma continues to work tirelessly for our benefit. So thank you very much for joining us for today's Shotsuki service. I really hope that as I continue to read the names of the members who have passed, we all continue to reflect on their experience. Please join me in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Nam mandats, nam mandats, nam mandats, nam mandats.